Hello, everybody. We are going live with some really fabulous success stories today. I am going to be bringing Tonya and Brent in here in just a moment. And we are going to be talking about a very strategic supplement system that they have been using and that I've been recommending to my clients. And if you've been following me for a really long time, you know that I don't just, have a lot of supplements that I'm recommending to my following as a whole. So just waiting here. As soon as I see Tonya coming in, I will definitely let her share her story. She and her husband are both going to be coming on. And Tonya has seen a good deal of weight loss, and her husband has come off a ton of type 2 diabetes medications and lost weight as well. So hopefully we'll get them in here in just a second here. I think let's see. Where are you, Tonya? I see 3 people are watching, but I can't see Tonya here. Hold on, let's see. I see Lisa and John here. I need Tonya, my friend Tonya. Hold on. Okay, thanks for bearing with me here. All right, so if you haven't heard of Feel Great, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And it's basically a 2-step supplement system. It's a yerba mate, very high potency, a yerba mate tea, and a soluble fiber matrix. So I just saw that Tanya's now on here, so let me add her. And she'll be joining us along husband Brent. I'm so excited to hear the story. I will be perfectly honest. I haven't actually heard Tanya's story before. Hi guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining me. I'm so excited to hear your story. So let's just get right to it. I've been kind of telling people that we are talking about Feel Great tonight. And this is my first time meeting you and your husband, Brent. So thank you so much for joining and for sharing your story. But I'm going to let you take it away. I want to just hear about where you were prior to Feel Great, how you even came to hear of it, and what happened when you implemented it.
So Brent's had aggressive coronary artery disease and type 2 diabetes, diagnosed at 27, had his first stent, was hammered down on statin drugs and, of course, diabetes medications, because you know what statins do for you. So skip along, he ended up after, at the age of 27 in his early 30s, having more stents.
44 had more.
Yeah.
And then 45 I had
bypass surgery. And so little did we know, nobody talks about insulin resistance and everything that leads into that. So anyway, bypass surgery at the age of 45. And when he went for his 1-year follow-up, they wanted to put some more, put him on more medication. And I knew at that point that he couldn't live like this. He was sick, just felt like crap. So anyway, I was doing my research and came across Yvette Oxford. I'm sure you've heard that name. She was talking about this Rexall Unicity protocol that was literally, changing lives. So I watched some of her videos and I reached out to her and asked if I could call her, and she said yes. And so chit-chatted with her about it. She said, Tonya, get on it. She said, it comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. You all have nothing to lose. Everything else at this point was not working. So we started in February of 2024. And immediately in that first week, Brent no longer needed his long-acting or short-acting insulin. So
in 1 week.
In 1 week.
Wow. That's
So
amazing.
yes, and then he immediately come off of Ozempic because everybody wants to push that. So there's three medications just right off the bat that he no longer needed. And then in 90 days, he ended up losing 40 pounds. And myself, within the first couple of weeks, I no longer needed my prescription acid reflux medication. So I was on prescription acid reflux medication. I was on Neurotech for migraines, on prescription medication for IBS-C. So altogether, Brent's off 7 medications. I'm off 3. Um, and his diabetes is under control. He's no longer on statin drugs. No longer doing those. So it's literally been life changing for us. Um, because we were on that pharmaceutical rat wheel for so long, band-aiding that problem, that was not going anywhere.
And one thing I will say is it's something that you can endure like for a while. I mean, we've been on it now for, over a year, and I still have not gained my weight back. It's not like it's, oh, you're going to lose it, you're going to gain it back. So it's something that I've been able to keep my weight off and keep my diabetes under control and just do a lot of things, that most people with having quadruple bypass and all the things that I've had done to me. I've ended up in the hospital with pancreatitis due to Ozempic. I mean, all kinds of stuff in the past.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've dealt with a lot of things, throughout the past, but this has been the one thing that's always worked. It's stayed steady. We stay consistent with the product. I mean, we drink our teas and we do our balance, and I think consistency is the biggest key.
Yeah.
Is just being consistent with it. And that was probably the hardest part in the beginning was the consistency. It's just like anything, any new adventure you're on. So, but it's been a blessing. Once you see what all it's done and the things that it's done for my labs, at one time my triglycerides were so high they couldn't even read them.
Wow.
And now my triglycerides are
107.
103
And
or
you're on 7
107.
medications, you said.
Yes, off 7
Wow.
medications. Yeah, I'm not on any cholesterol medicine whatsoever.
Wow. So
And
let's
I
go
like,
back to that first
so
week when you implemented it. And I get that, like, I have so many people messaging me like I have it. I just haven't been
yeah.
real consistent with it. Like I forget about it, or the balance can
Consistency is
be,
the key. I think
yes.
the biggest thing that we do that we try to help people with is we buy the little baby waters and
Okay.
we keep those, like we keep some in our car. I keep some in my truck, and that way if you need your balance at lunch or you do your balance at dinner, either one, you're um, able to have it. And I think that's the biggest thing that kept us consistent, is having those.
You have to make it convenient. And people that
Yes,
think that it's not convenient, what if
I
we're going to
forgot.
eat? Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we're busy. We have games. We have things we have to do, and
We have a
sometimes
13-year-old that keeps us on the run all the time. So
and I just throw the waters in our purse. And if we have to stop off at a restaurant and eat, which we do quite a bit because of our schedule,
Yeah.
we choose, healthy options.
options, yeah.
But we have our balance. I pull it out of the purse. We drink it immediately before we eat our dinner. And I will tell you, our daughter, last year in March, we had to switch pediatricians because hers had retired, and they did, complete workup on her. And woe was to me that my child was pre-diabetic. So her
Wow.
A1C was a 6.1. And
Oh,
her
wow.
triglycerides were 247.
Wow.
So we started her just on the balance.
And how
So
old was she?
at
12.
that time she was 12.
12. Okay.
Yeah. And so we started her immediately on the balance. She only done it one balance every
dinner.
afternoon at dinner time. So no Unimonte because of school, and she didn't want to take it with her. So anyway, I didn't want to wait 90 days. So we done this consistently for 30 days. I had her retested. Her A1C went from a 6.1 to a 5.4, and her triglycerides dropped over 100 points.
Awesome. Just by adding the balance.
Just one balance.
That's just one balance a
Yeah,
day.
at dinner time. So it
Yeah.
just goes to show, what kind of products we have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people don't realize that, hey, listen, this
Consistency is the key.
it's the
Consistent.
key.
Yes.
And this isn't, some thing that's just, okay, well, it's just another diet or it's just another product that it's a nutraceutical. It does what it says it does as long as you stay consistent with it.
And, with it being in the physician's desk reference, we live in Tennessee, but I ended up having my heart surgery at Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland, Ohio. And we was talking about it, and all of this is in the physician's desk reference, and they're one of the people that studied it. And we were up there for a visit, and they're like, Brent, you're doing so well. What have you done different? Oh, well, let me just explain it to you.
Yeah.
And then the lady looks it up, and she goes, well, why don't everybody
Why isn't everybody on
on
this? I'm like, you tell me.
Yes,
Right.
You tell me.
and it's because big pharma don't make any money. So that's
Right.
exactly 100% of why.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and you gave me a really good tip because I've been struggling with getting my balance in every day, and like the second week that I was on the system, we went on vacation, and I use a
Yeah.
frother to stir my balance, and I'm like,
yeah.
how am I
Nope,
going to do
get the
this
baby
in the
waters.
restaurant? So
Yeah,
the little
we
baby
we
waters
take the
are
little
really good
10-ounce
idea.
waters.
So you can
Just
just shake those up and
Yeah, just pour
yeah,
some of that water out. First time
yeah,
we did it, we thought, well, let's just pour it in there. And then, of course, it goes everywhere. So you want to pour
yeah,
some of that water out, pour it in, shake it, drink it. I mean, it's so easy, especially when you've got kids and sports and
yeah,
busy life, busy schedule.
Vacation, we go to Disney. We'll be at Disney. We
Yeah.
pull it out. We don't care where we're at.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I love
it's
that.
just our life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, I want to go back to your story, Brent, a little bit. And so
yes,
you went
ma'am,
off 7 medications
I did.
with just the nutraceuticals. This is,
Yeah,
not big pharma.
no,
But my question is, so that first week you said that you were able to come off some insulin already in 1 week. Were you
yeah.
changing other things in your lifestyle?
Oh,
Because we do promote intermittent fasting along with
We
the
were doing
we
that.
we
Yes.
Okay.
we did
But
do
yeah,
the
did you
intermittent
change other
fasting.
things?
No, I did change to the intermittent fasting. So that was
Okay.
one thing that I changed, which is what is promoted. Um, so I started that. And then, we've always been kind of conscious about what we eat, but I guess it made me a little bit more conscious on what I eat, just so to speak, just because it's something else. Um, but other than that, it was just completely, the nutraceuticals that,
Yeah.
the balance and the tea that did it. And like I said, I think a lot of it was just we was very, very consistent with it. We
Yeah.
didn't miss a
Yeah.
beat.
Yeah.
And once you find a way to fit it in your lifestyle, it's really simple, and
Yeah.
it's not hard. And I'd much rather drink the drink one of those than take a handful of medicines. Used to it was like I'd sit there and do my medicines, and it'd take me 30 minutes to make a month's worth of medicine because
Yeah.
I'd sit there just individually putting one in and one at night, one in the morning, one at night. And now, like I said, I had quadruple bypass surgery, and I take 3 to 4 little medicines. They're all in the morning. I don't have any nighttime medicine anymore. I don't, and it's just been a blessing for me. It's been a blessing for our family to be able to actually enjoy and go and
Mhm.
do.
Yeah.
And, the weight loss was another plus behind it because you feel so much better about yourself, and you
Mhm.
feel so much better to be able to have the energy to go and do. And I was so sick for so many years and never really knew it. And I think that was the thing that got me was once we started hitting the root cause of the insulin resistance, you see that the difference in how you should feel and the way,
You didn't know what it was like to feel
you didn't
good.
know what it was to feel good, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. And to not have cravings and not to have that food
Oh,
noise in
And
your
we
head.
snacked all the
we
time.
was
We ate
always
Yes.
dinner.
snacking, and
But our snacks we thought were healthy. We would eat
Mhm.
mixed
there's
nuts.
terrible.
Mhm.
And,
So
we were mindful of stuff, but still, I
yeah,
mean, the lab work was crazy. We thought we were doing everything right. And, you know, I guess I do get bitter because, I worked in cardiac for a long
Okay.
time. And so knowing if I knew then what I know now, I honestly feel like we could have prevented bypass
Mhm.
yeah,
surgery.
I do
Mhm.
too.
and it makes you mad. It really, really does.
Well,
I,
it
I
comes to,
completely understand. As a
Yeah.
practitioner, like I
yeah,
have been in the nutrition field for 25 years, and yes, I've taught a lot about lifestyle, but to
Hmm.
have this product to just make it so
yes,
much easier to
Yeah.
implement the lifestyle foundational things that we know are healthier, but it's like people want to do better, but they're
Yeah.
in the space of hormonal confusion and hormonal imbalance and insulin
Hmm.
resistance and all the things. And it just is so difficult to implement. So if you have a
Yeah.
system like this that's
it's
natural,
simple.
no
It's
side effects.
simple, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, and in the past, we did the, I don't know if I can say the names, but we did
Yeah.
all
Go
the
ahead.
24-day, Advocare and
All these other
all these things
that never worked.
that never,
Or they worked for a short period of time and then you gain your weight right
yeah,
back
Weight
and nothing really
Watchers
changed.
and
But it never changed my diabetes. It never changed my heart
Yeah.
disease. I've done all of those things. And now that we've found this, um, I'm down to going to the heart doctor once a year. I see an endocrinologist, once a year now, and everything is more balanced, a balanced lifestyle. You can actually enjoy life.
yeah.
And I think one of you was talking about cravings earlier, and I think that's one of the funniest things because we all crave stuff. And it was like we've had people that we've helped get on the system, and they'd be like, "Well, I drink Cokes all day, every day, and you're not going to get me off my Cokes." And within 2 days, they'll call and be like, "I've not even wanted a Coke."
Yeah, I know. It's
It's
wild.
insane that the way that the system actually works,
Yeah, and it's
and
a lot of it's just going back to that GLP-1 hormone and
Yeah.
bringing cravings down and giving that
yes,
a natural boost. So, Brent, you said you also went off a GLP-1
I
medication,
did.
correct? Okay,
Yes, I
tell us
did.
a little bit more about that. Did you just
So
kind of go cold turkey or did you wean off of it or
Well,
how
I
did
uh,
was
that
having
work?
nosebleeds and throwing up.
it was causing me to have some other issues. Like I said, I was on it at one time before, and it caused me to have pancreatitis. Well, then
Oh,
they took me off of it
I put him on a different
and
form.
put me on a different form of it, and
okay.
then that form of it ended up I was starting to have these nosebleeds, like she said, and I'd have, just other things going on, and I just couldn't figure out why. And so when this product come about, I was like, well, I'm going to come off of that and see what happens. And guess what? No more nosebleeds, all of these things that was going on from that shot would had disappeared, and I didn't have them and I lost the cravings, but I still was losing weight. I still was able to maintain, I was moving so much better. My aches and pains in my body were starting to leave, because I don't think I ever realized how much of my body was inflammation,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
start, and my blood pressure leveled out. So like I used to be on another thing that's helped with my heart wise is with it being what it does for blood and blood flow and all these other things is I used to have to be on metoprolol, really high dose of it for
Hmm.
my heart rate.
Hmm.
I'm on like the smallest dose they make now.
He went from
Wow.
150 milligrams of metoprolol to 25.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's another one that's cut in half. The only diabetes medicine I'm on at all is I take a Jardiance, and the only reason I stay on Jardiance, I don't even know that I have to, but it's it's got some heart health stuff in it, so
Yep.
I just kind of stay on it just for that fact. But I
Yep.
used to be on insulin and metoprolol or metformin and all these just other diabetic drugs that they would try
Repatha.
Repatha, and I was on. They even had me because of the inflammation in my body. They had me on a gout medicine called Cochazine, and it's for gout, but they had me on it for inflammation inside my body.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
once I
Yeah.
started this, I was able to come off
To
all of
come
those
off.
medicines because
Hmm.
I didn't have the inflammation in it no more. My feet didn't swell up. I didn't have all of these things that
Yeah.
was going on prior to. So it's
Yeah.
just been a wonderful, wonderful game changer for us for sure.
A
Well, for
blessing.
me, it's been a blessing. Thank goodness that God gave Tanya Yvette that night whenever she
Mhm.
kept praying and saying, "Hey, I need to find
Yeah.
something. I need something to help." And that's exactly what happened.
And then
So
Shannon Davis come in our life, and
Yeah.
she's
yeah.
And we
amazing.
love
I love
her.
her.
That's
So
how I've known Shannon for a while, but I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, I want to hear your story. Come on my podcast. And she started talking about Feel Great. I'm like, how do I not know about
Yeah.
this? Like, I'm
Yeah.
a metabolic health expert
Exactly.
professional, like, and I have not heard of these. It's just insanity. So
Yeah.
you guys said it's been over a year that
Yes.
Yes.
you've been using this
Yeah.
system.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's, and all three of us are on it. Myself and Brent and our daughter, and there's no going back for us because in my mind, in my heart, if we stop this protocol, we're gonna have to go back on our meds,
Yeah.
and
And
nobody
so
wants to do
I
that.
don't
And
want to
No.
do
so,
that. I'd rather take my little juice drink, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
we drink 3 or 4
And it tastes
boxes a
good.
day.
Like,
It
And
I
it's
does.
used
good,
to, I
yes.
wasn't like for a long time, I was addicted to Diet Coke and Coke Zero. And I got off of that. But then I would like use Zevia. Not that that's terrible, but I just was kind of bored with drinking water all the time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
once I started using this, I crave that tea. And
Oh, I do
Yes.
I haven't had a Zevia in months. I'm like, I just want this tea.
Yeah.
It's so hard at night whenever you're ready to go to bed and you're like, but I want the flavor of the tea. Why can't I don't want to stay up all night, but I still want the flavor.
It's
So,
so good.
We
Well,
actually,
talk to me financially about what this has done for you, because I know that's a lot of people's hang up. It's like, oh, it's expensive. And I'm like, compared to medications that you're on, compared to more
Yeah.
food that you're eating, the foods that you're craving, and
Yeah.
your overall health, it's really a drop in the bucket compared to,
Oh.
GLP-1 medications and that. So,
Yeah.
You
and
think
there's
about
the
somebody going,
there's the 90-day guarantee, money back guarantee.
yes,
I'm like,
Yeah.
just try it. And if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But
Well,
right.
you get your money back after 90 days. If it does not work for you, you will get your money back. So, I mean,
You think about cutting out breakfast alone.
yeah.
I mean,
right.
if you go buy breakfast nowadays, it's going to cost
Now,
you $10. But
Yeah.
whenever
we
you,
eat breakfast, it's just not until 12 or 1 o'clock the next day.
yeah,
So,
And
or
it's
we eat
like
breakfast for dinner.
$5
We
a
still have
day.
breakfast.
Yes. And this
So,
system's like $5 a day. And
yes.
people spend
Yes.
that more than that at Starbucks. They spend more than that
Yep.
at another specialty drink or whatever that they're
well, and you go to
having.
the pharmacy and you're paying
Yes,
$300 and
exactly.
$400 just for his meds,
Yeah.
along with, my medication. We're saving money. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yes.
it's a game. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
It was
Yes.
crazy, because all these years we've always hit our deductible. You know what I mean? Because of all my
Very,
medicine.
very
We
quickly.
hit them very quickly. So by the end of the year, it's like, oh, great. Oh, I'll go get whatever medicine I need because it's paid for now. And now we've not hit our deductible in the last 2 years. I'm like,
I
man,
love that.
it's
I love
awesome.
that. You're not
It's a
going to the
blessing.
doctor.
Yeah, I'm not going to the
Right.
doctors. I'm not getting all the medicines and all that stuff. So it's been wonderful that we don't hit our deductible no more.
Yeah.
So,
But it's funny, I'll tell you, his last endocrinology appointment, first and foremost, it wasn't the very last one, but when we went one day, nothing but cakes was there. Outside of the building.
believe
I took a
it.
picture. I'm like, okay. And then I go inside and everybody's eating these little cakes. And I'm like, that's just not cool. But then the doctor and I kind of, didn't have words, but it was one of those situations to where she's like, well, because of your bypass surgery, you need to stay on the Repatha. His labs are great, but yet she wanted him to stay on Repatha. And I'm like, well, that's funny. I said, because the Repatha kept his glucose over 200. I said, so what do you say about that? Oh, well, we'll just give him more diabetes
that's
meds.
it.
I'm
That's
like,
it.
no, you
Yeah, we'll
won't.
just dose
No,
for your
you
high
won't.
blood sugar. It's like,
Yeah.
Yes, that's
you
exactly
want to
what she
reverse
said.
this?
So mad. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
I know.
No.
And that's what we're taught as dietitians is to just like eat a certain amount of carbs and
Yeah.
then dose your medications
Yeah.
for your
Yep.
blood sugars. It's like, wait, but why wouldn't we just eat in a way that reverses and, use
Yeah.
some strategic supplements that actually help with blood
That
sugar
help.
manipulation?
Yeah, that
Yes.
you don't have to add that stuff to it.
Yeah, it's a
It
Well,
wild
just
and you
system.
go back to our now 13-year-old, at school, we can't control what she eats there because I mean it's the school food. They have vending machines, so I know she's eating stuff she's not supposed to. But I mean, you look at what her labs were. She come home and had a balance every afternoon before dinner, and her A1C still dropped from a 6.1 to a 5.4.
Yeah,
And her
let's go
triglycerides
back to
dropped over
that
a half
because I
point.
know, as a nutraceutical on the box, it has to say like not for children, not for pregnant
Mhm.
women or whatever. But there are a lot of families who do give it to their children, and
Yeah.
there
I mean,
are
why
many
wouldn't
pregnant
you?
women who
Oh,
use it because it's
yep.
so great for hormonal health and insulin resistance and
Yeah.
so many things. So you've seen nothing but good positive things
Oh yeah, and she drinks
except
the
your daughter.
Unamante. I mean, there for a while she was putting it in her sparkling water. Her dad would mix it up for her of a morning, and she would drink that. And she did perfectly fine. I mean, she has ADHD. We don't medicate that. We steer away from those types of medications, but we noticed how much better she was doing.
More focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I
So
noticed within 3 days, I'm like, what is this stuff?
yeah. Oh,
Like,
Yeah.
I am
absolutely.
so focused, like in the afternoon. I am sleeping better, even though there's natural caffeine in the Unimate. I was like, my sleep scores were better, and I'm 49 in perimenopause. I'm like, I
Yep.
lost weight. I was like, I do all the foundational lifestyle stuff. So I wasn't expecting a lot from the system. Like I wasn't on any
Right.
meds or anything. I was like, I just need to do it because if I'm recommending it to my clients, even though I was sold on the research. I didn't even try the
Yeah.
product. And I became
Yeah.
a distributor, but I was like, I have to use it just so I know what to expect. And I was like, oh my God, like I
Yeah.
cannot believe the difference. And in somebody who's doing all the things already to get like that much, feeling that much better,
Right.
Yes.
I was just so impressed.
Yeah.
And we,
Um,
we have so many friends also that are, they go to the gym, they do things. That's something I haven't been. They tell me I need to go, but
Yeah. We
I,
go to the gym. I mean, we would,
I don't. But anyway, they say that it's a great muscle recovery. We got one of our friends that he's ex-military and he works out all the time. He goes, I recover faster on this
than I ever
than
did in
I
my
did
20s.
in my 20s.
Yes, it's something with the
The,
chlorogenic acids that are
yes.
in there. And I have another dietitian friend who runs ultras. Like she's crazy, but she recovers so much faster by using
Yeah.
this too. Tanya, one more thing I wanted to go back to with you and your story, because we know that Feel Great is really great for metabolic health and weight
Mhm.
loss and heart disease, those types of things. But you also were on an acid reflux medication and you were able
Yeah.
to come off that. Those are really, can be really challenging to come off of.
Yeah.
So tell us about that a little bit and how that journey went for you.
So, yes, my acid reflux was absolutely terrible. And, I joke around and tell everybody that we bought the beds that raise you up, the
Uh-huh.
remote, just because of the acid reflux. And so I've had multiple EGDs, erosion in my throat. So I've always been on prescription medication for that. And whenever we got started on this protocol, I noticed that I didn't need it anymore. I didn't have the acid reflux that was waking me up in the middle of the night, wanting to burp up what felt like fire. So that was awesome because those types of medications are not meant to. You're not supposed to stay on them.
Not long term. They're what they
No.
say it right on there, like about six
Yeah.
weeks and then discontinue. And
Yeah.
now
But I
they're
mean,
over the
people.
counter too, which is kind of
Yeah.
scary.
And
Yeah.
people take them for years on end.
Mhm.
And I actually have a friend of ours that he messaged me after month one and said, he's been on prescription acid reflux medication for over 15 years, and he said he don't need it anymore. He doesn't need it. And his preteen daughters are all using it now because they also have acid reflux. And he said that he actually texted me the other day and come by the house to get an extra box of the balance because his daughters, who are 13 and 16, use it before they do their workouts before sports.
That's awesome. So you're both doing the system has
Yes.
how it's mainly, the two Unimates and the one balance. Because I know
Oh, we
some
drink 3 or
people,
4 Utamontes a
Yeah,
day.
but
do
that's
you?
just
Yeah, that's
us.
just us.
That's just us.
Yeah,
Hey,
we
why
do a
not?
balance at lunch and at dinner just because,
You do both. Okay.
yeah, we do both. But you don't have to. I mean,
Yeah.
you could
But
do,
we didn't for the longest time. In the first few months, we didn't do but one.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
whenever all that stuff started,
Yeah.
we just decided to do two on our own. It was
Yeah.
just what we decided.
Yeah,
So,
it's not going to be harmful. And I know, like for
right.
me, I have lots of different clients with metabolic health, and depending on what their issues are, like if they're trying to avoid a statin and or come off a cholesterol medication or really honing in on the blood sugar part of it, then I'm like, well, maybe 2 balances will be, do 2 balance in 1 Unimate or 2 balance in 2 Unimate. But if you're more like need the focus, the energy, the weight loss aspect of it, then the 2 Unimate.
You can really tailor it to your needs. You really can, as long as you're getting it in and staying consistent. And that's what
The consistence, the key.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a small handful of people that have not even changed their diet and have still had labs change because they were consistent with the protocol.
And there's people like I'm a good testament to this. Like I have high LDL cholesterol despite how I live my lifestyle, and it went up like 50 points in the last year or two as I'm going through hormonal changes. So that can be really frustrating for women in perimenopause and menopause because they're doing everything the same that they used to and living these healthy lifestyles, and all of a sudden they're seeing these jumps in their labs, and the doctor's like, oh, let's go on the statin, and we know that the side effects of the statins are terrible, and they only decrease heart disease by like 1%. It's
and it also increases a lipoprotein A. So Lp(a) is starting to get some attention. We learned about it 3 years ago. Doctors don't test for it, and it genetically determines how sticky your cholesterol is. Well, you go on a statin drug, and that increases. So it's crazy. It's not. No, it's really not. And so, we need to concentrate on triglycerides and HDL and not be so concerned about LDL. That's really not the bad guy. We need to get rid of the carbs, the sugar,
the triglycerides need
the things that are causing the major inflammation in your body. And, his cardiology appointment, 4 months ago, the doctor was, happy with what he was seeing with Brent, who has aggressive coronary artery disease, type 2 diabetes, and tons of stents from the age of 27. But like I said, had we known about if this amazing product was available then, he wouldn't have ended up having to have bypass surgery. I'm fully convinced.
Tell me what your triglyceride number changes were again.
It is 107 now. It was initially over 500.
Over 500, okay.
Yeah.
And I like to see them under 100, like under 150. Under 100 is even better. So you're really,
it was 103 or 107.
Okay.
I'll find the lab work and send it to you. But it's, I mean, it's been a blessing. It's a game changer. Anybody that's questioning it, don't question. Just get on.
Just try it.
Just try it.
90 days.
What's 90 days?
If exactly.
And we blow $5 a day on a pack of chewing gum. I mean, It's
I don't
crazy.
know anybody who I've had start under me and my recommendations who hasn't seen some sort of progress with it. And I'm just like, I've only known about it for a couple of months. So I am so excited to have a tool because I've been, recommending all of the foundational things, but to have an actual tool and supplement system that's studied and as an actual nutraceutical. And we kind of glazed over this part, and you guys mentioned the PDR or the provider's digital reference. That is important because you can go to your provider, and if they're like, well, what are you doing? You don't have to like show them this random supplement system or like, oh, I'm doing this under the, something that we shouldn't be talking about in the black market. Like this is in the PDR, the provider.
It is, and it'll tell you that it's.
Doctor can look it up and say, like, these are the studies that are behind it. It raises GLP-1. It helps with blood sugar regulation. It lowers triglycerides and LDL, and it's right there in front of them. So they can studies.
Absolutely.
And I think it says in there that it's actually a natural alternative to a statin. Medicine.
If used consistently, this product.
And like you said, the pharmaceutical companies don't want anybody to know
they don't.
that it exists.
Yes.
which is why we're getting on and doing lives and sharing stories and, trying to get the word out to other providers
Yes.
so that they know about it. But is there anything else that you would like to share that we didn't cover? I mean, your stories are amazing. And
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm
just the
telling you,
fact
if you
that you're all
suffer,
on it, your daughter's on it, your friends
yes.
are on it, that's
And if
all awesome.
anybody is suffering with migraines, I'm telling you, I was on prescription medication for migraines, Neurotech. I've had one migraine in a year and a half. One.
Interesting.
And those have stopped. I had restless leg syndrome.
Oh, I had restless
Oh,
leg
that
really
is
bad.
a huge, the autoimmune, and I have a
Yeah.
friend with awful restless leg syndrome.
I have zero anymore. Mine was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
My mother had
you
it.
had restless legs as
I
well?
did too. Yeah.
Oh my
Nighttime, we
goodness.
dreaded nighttime. It was terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
we were fighting in the bed because legs are achy and crampy and, acid reflux. It was just like, oh, I dread going to bed at night. So now we don't have that issue anymore.
I know.
My,
And it's just like if people are just kind of listening and seeing this for the first time and not really familiar with the system, the 2 steps just work so amazing together because we have the T that's boosting energy and the GLP-1 and giving us more energy, suppressing cravings and appetite. But then the balance that we've been talking about that helps with cholesterol reduction and blood sugar regulation, but it also works on the gut microbiome. So I think in a lot of cases, people have messed up GLP-1, but then their microbiome, their gut microbiome is a mess. And most GLP-1 hormone is made there. And the inflammation is stemming from the gut also. So you're hitting both things simultaneously. And it's
Absolutely.
a wonderful, wonderful system. So
It is.
and I think it's a lot of it has to do with the way that the balance actually coats the stomach. Instead of it being, like some fibers, it'll bulk up and make you feel bloated the whole time.
Yes.
And so this one actually just kind of coats the stomach so you don't feel that way. You don't feel bloated and everything after you drink a fiber. So everybody always asks me, does it make you go to the bathroom? No. It's not that kind of fiber, So.
Well, and it helps with just I've found like it's helped just with the formation of stools. Like if you kind of teeter on the diarrhea versus the constipation, it's just feeding the microbiome in a way that's making the microorganisms that we want more of to flourish and decreasing the ones that we don't want to flourish.
Right.
So,
Yeah, exactly. It just makes it more
so
normal.
it's just like a nice 2-step system. So
It is.
well, thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
your story.
Pleasure meeting you.
This will be on Shanna Hudson Wellness, and I'll probably drop it as a podcast episode as well, just to try to get it out for some more people. And I certainly appreciate your time and
Absolutely.
I mean, there's so many great success stories out there, and we're just going to see more and more. But yeah, tell all your friends, direct them to this video.
I sure will.
We're so happy that you're doing so well. And
Thank
thanks so much
you
for your story. All right.
I appreciate you.
We appreciate it. Thank you so
Bye-bye. Nice
much.
to meet you.
You too. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.